Hey guys, so this is weekend number 2. This weekend we're going to continue with disassembling the axle. We have a few brackets to unbolt, and then the rest we're going to have to cut off. So what we're going to start with is marking up the spots that we're going to cut. We're going to unbolt the pieces that can be unbolted, and then we're going to be cutting the rest of the brackets off to leave the axle bare. Over here I have my tools assembled that I'm going to be using this weekend. So let's get started with marking up the axle tube.
Kylie's been going back and forth on what Artec truss to use, whether the JK 1-ton truss or the low-profile truss. Regardless, the cut zones are pretty much the same.
Unbolting these spring perches turned out to be the easiest part of the weekend. All I needed was an 18mm socket and some muscle. At this point, I had no idea how much cutting, hammering, and grinding I had ahead of me.
Now, since we weren't going to remove the brackets with one single cut using the grinder and sawzall, we decided to cut small sections at a time, getting closer and closer to the axle tube.
If you plan on doing a similar project, you will find areas that are too tight to get into cut, or too close to the axle tube or differential to risk the cut. A piece of advice for these areas is to use a 4-pound sledgehammer, chisel, and adjustable wrench to manipulate and weaken the piece you're working on removing. This was probably the most fun this weekend that I had at this step in the project.
There you go.
We made a lot of progress this weekend. Every time another bracket came off, it was a great feeling.
Now, I'm pretty sure by now most of you may have realized that Kylie doesn't do 1-ton swaps for a living.
And he's right, I'm a nurse on base, and clearly I am not a pro with the grinder or the sawzall. But I really enjoy my time in the garage with Edgar on the weekends. He, on the other hand, could probably do this all with his eyes closed.
I'm not sure about with my eyes closed, but I do know my way around metalworking tools because I build rail cars for a living. Again, this 1-ton swap is completely new to both of us.
But with both of our heads put together, we will have a great end product.
Kylie wants me to delete these last couple of clips because she thinks she looks ugly. She doesn't, but wearing heels wasn't an option.
Okay, so we're wrapping it up for the weekend. This weekend we spent all of the time that we had cutting the brackets off of this axle. So we got the big pieces and chunks off that we could, but now we have to work on getting a little bit more precise and cutting off all of the extra pieces and grounding it down flush with the axle tube. Over here we got, again, the majority of it off, but we still have some more pieces to cut. And you can see this white line that we marked here. That's 2 inches of the cast that we have to cut off so that we can put the Artec low profile Dana 60 truss on here. It would have been nice to have a plasma cutter for it, for sure, but I learned a lot, and I know that I like the grinder better than the sawzall. But we'll go back after it next weekend. So make sure you subscribe and follow the channel so you can watch as we go through this build. It's great for anybody who thinks it's not possible, but it is if you've got some simple power tools, a little bit of know-how, and a welding machine.